I apologize for all the clothes in the room, people. I've told my mom before, I've seriously told her this. I've told her that there's always so much clothes in this house that she should just open up her own laundromat. You know, and people can come to our house and we charge like 25 cents, you know. We even go to the extreme of buying those washers that have quarter inserts on them. And then they can just come over, put their clothes in the wash, push the quarter in, and have at it, you know. Like, seriously, like, I've felt before that we have so much clothes that some of these can't be ours. Like, I wonder if we've just randomly, you know, came up with some other people's clothes. You know, one day some guy's missing his underwear. He's like, where is my underwear? And it's at our house. I mean, that's seriously how it is here. We have so much clothes that we could have a hybrid combination of the Goodwill and a laundromat. Because that's how, like, intense it is here at our house with clothes everywhere. Just strewn everywhere. Like, when you come to our house, you feel like, you know how when you go out on the street sometimes, you're driving down the road, and there's those, like, people have just thrown some shoes by their shoelaces up and they're hanging over the electrical line. You know, or there's just a random shirt on the ground. That's how it is at our house. Like, everywhere we go, it doesn't matter where you go, there's bound to be something there, you know. When you go to have a fire, open up the fireplace, there's a bra inside. You know, I mean, it's crazy how it is here. I want to tell y'all about a true life story of mine. What I went through when I was younger. I'm going to pick on myself today, okay, people? Give a round of applause for that. I know I've been picking on everything else. I'm going to pick on myself a little bit today. When I was younger, I'm sorry, people. I get really emotional. I get really emotional when I talk about this. It's just, I went through so much crap when I was little. Alright, I'm going to make it, people. I'm going to make it. When I was little, you know, growing up, started about 5 years old, I don't know. I mean, I feel like I'm an ancestor of a saber-toothed tiger when I was younger, because seriously, when I was born, my two front teeth were the size of chiclets. You know those gum, that gum that you eat? Yeah. My two front teeth were the size of those. Like, seriously, I was born, and my body is the average size of a baby, but yet my teeth were like, you know, they were just out there. It was like they looked 3D, and you didn't even have to wear 3D glasses. That's how insane my teeth were. It was incredible. Like, and as I grew older, they just continued to grow. It's almost like I had to use a tooth filer, like a fingernail filer, and file my teeth down because they just kept growing, it seemed. Now, I know that's an exaggeration because that's not really how it was, but I'm saying that because my teeth were so big, I was worse than Bugs Bunny, okay? I'm telling you that, like, Bugs Bunny was no match for my buck teeth. Seriously, if I was walking around, like, someone could mistake me for a rabbit. Like, my teeth were so big. Someone could mistake me for Bugs Bunny, actually. Like, if I was walking around in the forest, then Dick Cheney might have come along with his AK-47 or whatever, and he might actually blow me away, thinking I was a rabbit. Because that's how big my teeth were. You could see them, like, from 5 miles off. I mean, it was incredible. I'm seriously, speaking of Dick Cheney, people, I'm seriously concerned for Elmer Fudd's safety, because if Dick Cheney was a cartoon, let me tell you, if Dick Cheney was a cartoon, Elmer Fudd better just get out of the forest and quit hunting. He better give up on hunting in general, because he's going to get shot one day. Elmer Fudd walking around. Elmer Fudd owns the forest in the cartoon world. He owns the woods. And if Dick Cheney became a cartoon and was out in the woods, man, he'd just be shooting Elmer Fudd, and we have no more hunters, except Dick Cheney roaming around. And you don't want that happening, man. He blows away everything he sees. I thought before, what if Elmer Fudd and Dick Cheney gathered together and combined their ideas and they formed a hunting club? Like, can you imagine that? You know, I can imagine Dick Cheney sitting around one day with Elmer Fudd, chilling, drinking a cup of Starbucks coffee, you know, enjoying, you know, the Wi-Fi and everything that's going on. And suddenly, it dings on them. Bling, bling, you know. They get an idea. Hey, Elmer Fuddo. Dude, why don't we start a hunting club? everybody around could just come to this club. It would be massive, man. And we'd set it up like Jurassic Park. We'd plant our own animals in the forest, and they could hunt anything. Squirrels, deer, man. It's like an entire habitat for every creature, almost like the zoo. And we would just go, and this idea turns into something, it turns into a dream, and then the dream turns into reality. And before you know it, Dick Cheney and Elmer Fudd have started this hunting club that is the most popular thing you've ever seen in your life. Every hunter wants to come to this, and they win awards, all that stuff. But anyways, back to my teeth. After all that, like I explained how big they were, man. And when I went to school, when I would go to school, my friends would pick on me, and they would always just hand me a carrot. Like when I would go to school, they would bring carrots and be like, "Hey, Mendham," they'd be like, "Check this out, I brought a carrot for you to eat." And they'd laugh at me, and I thought at first, I wanted to, at least they were laughing, but they were laughing at me. And I didn't have the guts to stand up for myself, so I would always eat the carrot like Bugs Bunny. They would always just make me do it, get around me in a circle, stand there antagonizing me, and make me eat that carrot, and they even make me say, "What's up, Doc?" And at that time I had like a lisp and everything. I mean, everything was wrong. Everything, people. Not one thing was right in my life when I was younger. So I'd be eating that carrot, and they made me say, "What's up, Doc?" I'm serious, man. My teeth protruded like so far out of my mouth, my two front teeth. It was so hard for me to deal with all that. And luckily, when I got older, I got braces, fixed all that crap, fixed my teeth, fixed everything, and life has gotten like 20 times better since then. I mean, it's like comparing north and south. South is the lowest you can be, which is where I was, and then I shot up to the north side. Once I got those braces, obviously I had to deal with the whole train track thing, They're like, hey, why don't you get what was the little train guy's name? Thomas the Tank Engine or whatever? He was a little train guy. Yeah, why don't you get Thomas the Tank Engine to drive down your braces, metal mouth? All this bull junk that I had to deal with, even with the braces. But once I got those off, my life has been increasingly better ever since then. And I haven't given up on hope. I'm holding on to hope, man. I'm holding on to it. So, that's a story about how I was when I was younger. I also wanted to talk to y'all about, but now there's another concern I have. There's another concern now even, when I deal with this, just listen to what I have to say. Have you ever had the feeling that we as humans are actually being played like a video game? Like Mario and Luigi, like some Xbox or, 360, PS3, I don't care. But sometimes I feel like I'm being controlled by something. Like the Holy Spirit or God has a control, and is just controlling me. I do think sometimes I don't know why I do them, and I wonder if that's why. I've thought before, what if life is set up as a video game, And so Satan and God have this huge Wi-Fi network up in the sky or wherever they are, and they're playing their Xbox 360 together, and they're versing each other. It's Satan versus God. And they're combining their skills, and so Satan is controlling all the evil people in the world, Like Satan's got his... And mind you, they have to have wireless controls. Because from heaven to earth is an incredibly huge wavelength of space. If their controls are wireless, they probably have like 200 AAA batteries in their controllers, because that's how much power they have to reach down to earth to control us wirelessly. So Satan controls the gangsters, the drug dealers, the villains, all these evil people in the world. I probably imagine Satan controls Obama. That's why this country is going down the drain, because Obama ain't in control of himself. He doesn't have self-control. He has remote control. Hello? That's an example of that. Satan, Obama does not have any self-control. He has remote control, because Satan's over there controlling him, telling him what to do, making him make all these laws that are bullcrap. Now, on the other hand, God controls the good people. He controls George W. Bush. You know, people like Truett Cathy, all these people, and even me. He controls the people on the earth that are good. So when you go up and like say you get involved in a gang, you know, or you're walking down the street, this gang comes at you, comes out with their knives. When they pull their knife, that's like Satan. That's like a combo move for Satan. He holds down the L button and pushes B at the same time, and those gangsters pull out their shotgun, their Glock, or their knife or whatever, and get ready to attack you. Now you're on standby. You know, God's just waiting for them to. God has good strategy in His video game when He controls us. His strategy is He just waits for the attacker. He waits for the gangsters to come up to you and pull the knife on you, and then that's when He breaks out in those karate moves. He's holding like L, R, Z, and A down at the same time, clicks them at the same time, and that move, when those 4 buttons at the same time, gives a roundhouse kick to the face. And that gangster goes down. And then Satan just lost that level. And life is like levels. Life is like levels too. Keep that in mind. Because once God beats Satan on that one level, it's on to the next level. And each time the villains get bigger and bigger. And since God's so perfect, us on earth, if we have a drug dealer come to offer us drugs, we resist it. That's not really us resisting it. That's just like, you know, God, whatever combo move that is, probably like, I don't know, just a straight up A button. You know, and that just resists the temptation. Pushes the temptation away. You know, isn't that sweet? Like, I really think that's not really how it is, but I imagine, that's my imagination just like flying everywhere. Like, my imagination just runs like NASCAR, 200 miles an hour, you know, it's just going everywhere. And so I have these really sweet ideas, that's one of them. So keep that in mind. But I just think that's a great idea. Like, that's not really how it is, as I said, but it seems like it would be a neat idea if that really was the case. But we are in control of our life, you know, or God's in control somewhat, but we have to make our own decisions. We have to do the right thing in every situation. And those gangsters, unfortunately, they're just like, they've made so many wrong decisions that they're trapped. It's like they're trapped in this one level of life. And they can't get out of it because they keep just making the same mistakes over and over again. That's where we come in and try to get them out of that level and up to the upper levels where success is. So, perfect example for the joke today, people. Something I want y'all to consider, and I guess I'll just talk to y'all next time. But I'm a huge fan of video games, so play video games a lot, man. It's good for your hand-eye coordination. Later.